describes the whole thing,
Yeah.
Because white light is all, everything. And, that's what it is. And, you can get into a whole bunch of discussion about all the aspects of it and how it affects us, how it affects humanity, how humanity understands it is great. Okay, so you're receiving this ability into your essence, 80, 85, 90, 95, 100. Would you like to dedicate this?
Yes.
Okay. 80, 85, 90, 95, 100. And how well is Pure Perfect Light receiving this? 80, 90, 100. Okay. So, um, um, have you been attuned to Reiki? I can't remember.
I had a Reiki person come on my healing call. She did a little work on me and all the callers, so I don't. That's as much
Uh,
Reiki as I did.
well, then she did do an attunement on you because
Yeah,
that takes
probably.
some time. Um, so I'm a Reiki master as well, and so I can attune people and stuff like that. And I have so Reiki is actually a subset, a subfrequency of Pure White Perfect Light, and it has particular. Um, it does particular things for particular reasons. But I have also been able to attune people to Pure White Perfect Light, and they can use it just like Reiki. But they just have more access to different frequencies depending on what they need or what the other person needs, who they're working with. And that's kind of cool too. So I've done this session using words, words and my intent, asking. So I haven't done the work actually. I've just asked for it and monitored it. Okay. The subconscious has to be open to it and want it and feel safe about it. Because when you work with people, it's always a good idea to put shields up first before asking their subconscious permission to work on them, because you're going to have different answers a lot of the time in front of shields or behind shields. Also, asking if they feel safe subconsciously. If a person subconsciously doesn't feel safe, they may work with you and they may, let you release stuff, but very rarely will they let you get to the absolute core of the problem in a timely manner. It might take a bunch of sessions when, if they feel safe about it, they might actually get to the core of the problem in that session or within a couple of sessions and not take, zillions of sessions forever. This is my experience. Yeah, so there's a whole bunch of interesting things that I have found working with Pure White Perfect Light on how to make other modalities a little bit more efficient, especially, so I come from an emotion code, body code background, and this has helped me in that practice. Basically, if a person has had a heart session and the main issues have been dealt with, it's much easier to do emotion code and body code on these people because you may test you've cleared everything, got all the imbalances taken care of, and you say, oh, that's all there is to do, now you should get better. But if the person doesn't get better, then you're like, well, what happened? And what you can do is that when you get to the bottom of an issue where it says there's nothing more to do, there's nothing more that's hidden, there's nothing more deactivated, or whatever people like to say nowadays, if there's nothing left, then the person's essence should start to shine through into this issue. And if it doesn't, then you know that there's non-light there and that there's a disconnection of some sort. And I am not of the opinion that the subconscious knows everything. Like a lot of other energy workers are. The subconscious knows exactly what you need. For a lot of people, it doesn't. And because of many reasons, usually because of inherited lack of connection. If the subconscious never learns something as soon as the person is conceived, then how is it supposed to know? So when you connect especially these inherited disconnections, when you reconnect them with pure, right, perfect light, then the subconscious can start to learn and let it through into the conscious reality of the person. So with emotion code, body code, when you get to the bottom, when you think you've gotten to the bottom of an issue, test if their pure, right, perfect light is starting to shine through or not. Because if it's not, then there's something else blocking that isn't covered by body code or emotion code. And it's usually a disconnect and possibly non-light involved. So, also, I said reconnection. Actually, I want to give credit to the reconnection. Have you heard of the reconnection?
I've heard that name, but I don't think I've ever learned anything about it.
So this has been developed by another chiropractor, like Dr. Nelson, but his name is Dr. Eric Pearl. He's in California. And, I don't know how many years back, he had an experience, and through this experience, started to develop a modality called the reconnection. And the book is very interesting. You can get it on Kindle. And he kind of explains his experience and how he understood it at the time, and basically says, once you've read this book, you can do this too. And I found this book at a time, at a really low time in my life, and I'm kind of an energy researcher, so I started researching it, muscle testing it, experimenting with it and everything. And this reconnection is basically pure, right, perfect light. But the belief system that Dr. Pearl uses limits it somewhat. And so what I've tried to do is use it in a more targeted way. For Dr. Pearl, he's like, you just let it flow and it does whatever it can do, okay? Whatever the person's ready for. And I'm the type of person that, well, if the person's not ready for it, why not? And help get them ready for it. And so this is between all the other modalities that I had been practicing and looking into, I had been able to add this reconnective energy in as well. And in the end, this is pure, right, perfect light. And I've been trying to use it in a very targeted manner, using the chart, this basic chart that I showed earlier, so that limitations can be lifted in a safe way, a non-triggering, non-traumatic way. So yeah. So do you have any other questions about this?
No, it sounds great. So for people watching the video, because it's going to be on YouTube, I'm in Japan and it's now almost 4:00 and it's now 9:00 for you. And where are you?
I'm in Germany, in Munich, Germany.
Germany, wow,
so
okay.
Yeah, it's about 20 to 9.
My mom was born in Munich, Germany.
Yeah, so I just got my kids off to school and shoved in some breakfast.
What I was saying is my mom was born in Munich, Germany, but she left she left when she was 2. So I don't think she's ever gone back. I've never been to Germany yet. I just went.
Oh, Germany's cool, man.
Yeah, so eventually I'm going to do an all Europe tour. So I'm definitely going to go back to Germany.
You can sleep on our couch.
Okay, good. So, how can people get a hold of you for the people watching the YouTube video? Give your website or give your attach.
So my website is, I can write it in chat, is the Soul Code Method, all one word, .com.
Okay.
And I also have, I have a booking site there, and the things that I do. And I also, there's a tab on there that says webinar. And I did a webinar back in, I guess, March. Kind of an introduction. I'll probably redo that webinar because in a more efficient way. But it also have that chart. So I'll put the screenshot back in of the chart. I can.
Yeah, I have is the basic soul code method table.
Yeah, or has that been on the whole time?
Yeah, it's on the whole time.
Okay, never mind. We didn't even have to use it with you.
Yeah.
Because you had no hang-ups.
Cool.
With your heart session. That is available for anyone. And technically, a person can use this just with their intent, even if they haven't had a heart session. So anyone who's had a heart session has at least the latest version has a guaranteed access to their Pure Perfect Light. It may not be 100% access because you can go into other things like how open is your heart, um, you know, lots of different things. But the heart session is the basic starting point. You can also do a soul session the exact same way, where you look at issues in the soul and how well the soul is allowing pure perfect light from a person's essence in. Okay, because um, the optimal situation is that your pure perfect light flows out of your heart and can access all parts of your body, and your whole body can access your healing matrix. Okay, on a physical level. And then there's the other matrices for how you live your life and stuff like that, for your life purpose. And there's different matrices available to a person, or actually in their pure perfect light. And so you can actually do different parts of a person's being. That the second session is very often a soul session. You can also do a spirit body session. You can also do a physical body session. You can do a being session. It depends on what the person needs in their access, and you can test that out with them. If they have a specific issue, then you can actually do a session on that issue. You have an issue like asthma, okay? You can go in and shields up, make sure the person feels safe, ask to be shown what needs to be shown, and then go in and say, do you have any rocks and pebbles and sand or hills or mountains or weather problems and stuff, and go and clear those out and make sure that their pure perfect light can shine through into the situation. Okay, so this is kind of my perception on how to work with issues through this method.
Cool. So I think this would be, if you want in the future, I think this would be perfect to come on the radio program and do this. You can take one or two callers or whatever you feel. You can do a little bit, or you can do the whole session on a person. It's up to you.
Well, it should stick to a whole session with the heart session. It's not a good idea to not finish everything that a person can do. And a heart session usually lasts 20 minutes to half an hour. So like with you, that's what with you,
about
half an hour. But I have had a heart session that lasted 2 hours.
Wow.
That was a heavy thing. So it's hard to tell in advance.
Okay, so if you want to come on my radio program and do it, what I can do is I can do like some kind of drawing for all the people who want to do it to be the one who's selected to do it.
That's a very good idea. And then we can test them beforehand to see, will they fit? Will their heart session fit in a reasonable time? Okay. And because this is, it's a really nice thing to have, even if it's the only thing you do with the soul code. It helps a person build a basis for any other modality to work as desired. This is my feeling and my experience so far.
Well.
So.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna post this first on YouTube, and then I'll post it on the page that we're both on, the body code page, and I'll say that I got a session from you, and I'll give my feedback on it in the future. But I already feel there's some shift. So.
Okay. So observe yourself.
Yeah, I'm very kinesthetic, so I feel things right away. And
okay.
Yeah, and when you started, the first thing you said, once you said pure white perfect light, it's like that's the word I've been looking for. I've been calling infinite intelligence, and I've been calling all different other things, but that just encapsulates everything I think of what consciousness is. So That's perfect.
Okay.
Just saying that word almost did healing on me before you even started.
Well, I'm glad that resonates with you.
I was like, oh my God, yes, that's my next CD. No, my next CD's, yeah. Okay.
Well, it's not me. I didn't make this up.
Well, I know,
Okay.
but
This was given to me.
you shared it to me, so that was great. I really appreciate that, and because I'm Buddhist. I've been Buddhist most of my life,
Uh-huh.
and in Buddhism, the the true essence, the true self, is called pure white consciousness. So when you said pure white perfect light, I just thought, that really is what we're trying to say. When, of course, we're using translations of old texts, and in English it comes
Right.
out to pure white consciousness, but pure white perfect light just makes it so much more palpable to everyone now, because
Yeah,
everyone's.
and I come from a technical background. I'm a technical translator,
Well,
so German into English, and I've done a lot of work in the area of IT and web development and this, that, and the other thing, and so my mind kind of works like a technician, and because I had a lot of childhood trauma that really cut me off from my heart, and I didn't even know it. And I grew up very religious, and I'm still very religious, in my own religion. But my relationship to my religion has just grown exponentially as I start to understand what they've tried to be telling me my whole life. Because I didn't really understand it because my heart had been blocked. But I just knew that I needed to keep with it, and I did. And now I'm understanding my religion in ways that I could never understand it before. But I'm able to look at things in kind of a technical way that makes it more easier to understand for other people who also don't understand all these, soft, feely, fuzzy words that you find in religion, like love and happiness and joy and all that stuff, which I never really understood before until I found, Pure White Perfect Light. And I'm like, woohoo, this is great now. And as a translator, it's really, really important to translate for your audience. Because the different religions have different ways of saying things, and if you don't say it the way they say it, then they don't trust it. Okay.
yeah.
And so finding translations for what I do is really important to me, so that anybody in any belief system can work with anybody else without anybody being triggered. That's my goal.
Well.
And so Pure at Perfect Light so far has been the best meta idea that doesn't seem to trigger people, because it's newish, nobody uses it, so it hasn't built up bad connotations like other things have, and it addresses everything at once, and in any belief system that uses true light in it. So yeah, oh gosh, we could talk forever about this stuff. It's cool.
So you translate English into German and German into English, or which?
No, just German into English.
Into English. Oh, okay.
But I'm kind of that part of my life is slowly coming to an end, because energy medicine is much more fun.
Yeah.
And much more satisfying than doing manuals that people will probably never read. So, with the next update, okay, just update it. Still nobody has read it. And I find mistakes I made before. I'm like, oh, nobody caught my mistakes. The proofreader didn't catch this mistake. And and nobody noticed. So I'm like, it doesn't appeal to me anymore.
Well, I did 9 years of banking. I'm glad to be done with that. And
yes,
I'm slowly graduating from my 11 years of teaching English in Japan. This year's my graduation, so I'm.
Oh wow.
Well, that's what I'm targeting for. I've been trying to graduate for 11 years, but.
Well, that's how I started in Germany. Was teaching English in companies and at universities and stuff. But my health let me stop that after just a few years, because I didn't I didn't have the energy and health anymore to run around Munich all the time. From and getting up at 5:30 and having to be in bed by 10. But I just got home from the last class, and so my health basically said, "You're not doing this anymore." And that's when I went into the technical stuff and translation, which I could do at home. And I did it. I had my kids, so I was able to do it and have my kids too. And but now that chapter is coming to an end. And now this chapter has started, and it's a much more fun and satisfying chapter, I must say.
Good, good. Okay, well, I look forward to hearing more about everything, and I'll keep in touch with you, and we'll try to set up a show soon.
Okay.
So I'll let you know in a couple days how I'm feeling, and I'll give you the links to where I post it all.
Okay, and if anything goes wonky, let me know.
Okay.
You know where to find me.
Perfect. Thanks so much. I'll talk to you soon.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.